All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of High School Baseball right here on the pulse of the Buckeye State, heart of Ohio sports. Nate Mullins joining you live from Clyde Flyer Field once again for today's district semifinal matchup between Old Fort and Norwalk St. Paul. Nate Mullins once again on the call. We've got Greg Kinn down on the first base side, manning the main cameras today. Thanks for tuning in here on Heart of Ohio Sports. Let's take a moment and thank all of our sponsors for bringing you this doubleheader action right here on your Pulse of the Buckeye State. MST Sauce Company, First National Bank of Sycamore, Xcaret Mexican Restaurant, TPC Food Service, Your Legacy Federal Credit Union, Rodgers Flowers, Phillips Electric, Steinmetz Signs and Graphic Inc., Reclaim It, Molyet's Farm Market and Garden Center, and Bookmeyer Printing, all proud sponsors right here on Heart of Ohio Sports, the pulse of the Buckeye State. So, guys, we had a outstanding game to start, as 10 innings is what it took to decide that one. And we finally got a final, and Tiffin Calvert moving on to the district final that'll be played this Friday here at Clyde Flyer Field. And we have, I just got to give it up to the Hopewell Loudon Chieftains. They had an outstanding season. Started out 18-0 on the season. Now, they did kind of falter towards the end of the year, but I just think that's a product of teams they finally got some looks at them. They got a few looks at them, and they just kind of figured them out. But I also think that, these Chieftains, they have nothing to hang their heads about whatsoever. They had an outstanding season. And SBC River runner-up. So, once again, you can't say enough about that Hopewell Loudon Chieftain squad and what they were able to accomplish this year. And hats off to all of them. But big job, big congratulations to the Tiffin Calvert Senecas. A great job today as they were able to take care of business in extra innings. Took 10 innings, but they took care of business with a big win over Hopewell Loudon. Third time's a charm for the Senecas, as the first two times they couldn't quite figure out the Chieftains. The second matchup they tied it up in the sixth, but then Hopewell ended up getting the game-winning run in the bottom of the seventh at home in front of their home crowd. So, it was a frustrating end there for Tiffin Calvert, but I think that might have fed the fuel for this one today, because they knew they had a chance. They knew that Hopewell wasn't unbeatable. It's not a team that they saw as an imposing threat. They saw it as, this is a winnable game. It doesn't matter if they're the 1 seed or the 2 seed, whatever. They came into this game knowing they had a chance to win. They were aggressive, and they took care of business. But we're here for Old Fort and St. Paul. And this one, I don't know how to call this one, because, I don't have a guy that I can bounce stuff off of right now. As Russ Snyder, he's going to take a seat, and he's going to watch his son pitch in this one. That's right, Isaac Snyder is starting for Old Fort in this evening's game, in the Game 2 of our doubleheader here on Heart of Ohio Sports. And let's take a moment and thank all of our sponsors once again for bringing you today's broadcast here on Heart of Ohio Sports. Our pregame show brought to you by Your Legacy Federal Credit Union. We'll take a look at the weather report brought to you by Phillips Electric. Also, your keys to the game brought to you by Xcaret Mexican Restaurant. And our first pitch coming up soon will be brought to you by TPC Food Service. Also, our Sky Cam, we'll take a look right here, brought to you by your friends at Reclaim It. And keep looking down the sponsor list here, as Call the Bullpen, always brought to you by your friends at Rodgers Flowers. Post-game show, stick around, brought to you by First National Bank of Sycamore and our friends at MST Sauce Company, sponsoring the player of the game tonight here on Heart of Ohio Sports. So, rounding out the rest of the sponsor list, Steinmetz Signs and Graphic Inc., Reclaim It, Molyet's Farm Market and Garden Center, and Bookmeyer Printing, all proud sponsors right here on Heart of Ohio Sports. So you got two outstanding teams here today, as you got the 2 seed Norwalk St. Paul Flyers, and you got the 4 seed Old Fort Stockaders. Both these teams coming off of big wins. But Old Fort, I'll tell you what, they are playing some outstanding baseball right now. And it's one of those situations where at the beginning of the season, I feel like they weren't exactly a cold weather team. And not many teams are, but that's a team that, as the weather warmed up, so did their bats, and so did the pitching, and so did the rest of the team. And they just kind of started to figure things out at the end of the year, and that led them to their first sectional championship in 20 years. That's right. That's why they're here in this district semifinal to face Norwalk St. Paul. Now the Flyers, they're coming into here as the 2 seed, and they're looking to take care of business against this Tiffin Calvert team. Now they're not a familiar opponent, as neither one of these teams really faced off against each other this year. But, Norwalk St. Paul, you look at their last opponent, they faced Toledo Christian, the 5 seed. They dispatched them by a score of 6-3, and that's the only matchup they've had here in the playoffs as they await today's matchup with Old Fort. They're the 2 seed, Old Fort's the 4 seed. And you look at this matchup on paper, and, well, it's the playoffs, so we can throw the paper out the window. It doesn't really matter. We'll take a look at the starting lineups for both teams here in just a moment. But first, let's check that weather report brought to you by your friends at Phillips Electric. That's right. Phillips Electric is your weather report sponsor and also your home for Whirlpool, Maytag, and Kenmore appliances. Make sure you stop in and see Greg and Tom Phillips for all of your appliance needs, whether it's fixing an appliance or getting a new one, or maybe you just want to give someone a gift. Maybe mom and dad might need a new washer or dryer. Stop in and see Greg and Tom Phillips. They'll take care of you. Let's take a look at the starting lineups here as we'll look at the weather report first, and then we'll get to the starting lineups. Right now it's 67 and mostly sunny over here in Clyde. It is 70 degrees for your high, and I think it's right around the high right now. I mean, it feels like 67, but it's probably getting close to 70 here. 11-mile-an-hour wind blowing in from center field. It's now changed a little bit, shifted towards from center to right field. So you got a little bit of a cross breeze here, but I don't think that's going to affect anything really. It's only about a 10-mile-an-hour breeze. So once again, we're here at Flyer Field here in Clyde for this district semifinal matchup. Of course, the regionals awaiting the winner of Friday's game, and Tiffin Calvert awaiting the winner of tonight's game here between these two squads as Tiffin Calvert moved on in the first game of our doubleheader. Of course, this game was supposed to be starting at 4:30, but it didn't happen as we had extended. Let's fix this score here, shall we? As that's definitely not what we're dealing with here. I just took a look down at my screen, and I'm like, yeah, we're going to get some upset people because there's no score yet. And it's definitely not the top of the 10th inning. So, once again, we're just about ready to get started here. We'll have our first pitch coming up here in just a moment, brought to you by TPC Food Service. Semifinal baseball game between the visitors, St. Paul. But let's talk about the keys to the game, brought to you by your friends at Xcaret Mexican Restaurant. Now, of course, I don't have to tell you about the good food at Mexican Restaurant. Russ and I talked about it on the last broadcast. If you didn't get a chance to catch that one, that was a great game, folks. Make sure you go back and listen and watch. But Xcaret, I've told you about the Ohio State burrito with the grilled pineapple, the queso, and the bacon. I told you about the fundito dip with the chorizo and the queso. I mean, I'm a queso guy. I'm a chorizo guy, if you haven't noticed already. But Russ mentioned something that I kind of... It's a hidden gem on that menu that it's not really a menu. It's not really a hidden gem, but it's something people don't really think about. For whatever reason, I don't understand why you wouldn't think about tacos when you go to Xcaret. But they have phenomenal hard-shell beef tacos. I'm sure the chicken tacos are good too, but I'm always a beef guy. And I went for the beef tacos last time, and I'm telling you, they're killer. You can't get them much better than that in the area. And when you talk about the atmosphere, the staff there, I mean, it all adds up to keys to the game, brought to you by Xcaret Mexican Restaurant. Let's talk about this one because this is going to be a confusing one to call because I haven't covered Norwalk at all this year. I've called Old Fort a couple times. We got an idea what the Stockaders bring to the table, but the Flyers, I'm unfamiliar with this team. They got a lot of tall kids on the team. They got a lot of talent from what I understand, but they've had a couple of head scratchers as they got swept in a doubleheader by Mohawk earlier in the season. And they had a head-scratching loss as well earlier in the season. I can't remember who exactly they lost to, but it was one of those ones where it was kind of like a head-scratcher. Oh, Port Clinton. Not saying anything bad about the Port Clinton team. They got a great baseball team, but it was kind of it was a confusing game, to say the least, for the Flyers. But if I'm talking about the keys to the game, for this one, having not known anything about these Flyers, I'm going to say, for Old Fort here, you got to play your game. You got to play your game. Come out here with Isaac Snyder on the mound and play aggressive. If you're in the batter's box, you know you've got a solid pitcher on the mound. So go up there with a game plan. Don't just go up there swinging away at any pitch you see. Go up there with a plan of attack, find your pitch, and execute. That's going to be key for the Stockaders. Make sure they give you your pitch. Don't just swing away. Wait for your pitch. Be patient. That's going to be key for the Stockaders. For the Flyers, having not known anything about this team, I'm just going to say keys to the game, play fundamental baseball. As the 2 seed, just take care of business. You know you should be the better team here today out of these 2 squads because you're the 2 seed. But when you get into playoff seeding, records, they don't really matter. So we're going to pause here for the national anthem. All right, there you have it. That's the national anthem, and we are just about ready for the first pitch, brought to you by TPC Food Service. We talked about the keys to the game. We talked about the matchup between these 2 squads. And now let's just get ready for the first pitch. Once again, first pitch brought to you by your friends at TPC Food Service. I don't have to tell you about TPC Food Service, but I'm going to, folks. Let me tell you about some of the great things they have to offer. It's a community-minded business for a long time in this community. Over 75 years, TPC Food Service has served this Tiffin, Ohio area, and they've been providing quality product and service to food service operators in Northwest Ohio and the surrounding area. Family owned and Ohio proud. Contact them toll free at 1-800-342-0477 today. TPC Food Service, big enough to serve you, small enough to care. So look at these starting lineups for both teams here. As on the mound for Norwalk St. Paul, Eli Fisher. We'll take a look at the rest of the lineup for Norwalk St. Paul.
Maxwell behind the plate. Excuse me, number 10, Thomas Boca.
So leading off will be for the Stockaders, Isaiah Perez playing center field. Batting second, Casey Klaus playing shortstop. Batting third, Carter Dubois playing catcher. Batting cleanup, Miles Miller. He'll be playing third base. Connor Ernsberger batting fifth, playing second. Carter Cleveland, the first baseman, batting sixth. Isaac Snyder, the pitcher, batting seventh. Simon Garza, the left fielder, batting eighth. And rounding out the lineup, the right fielder, Harry King, batting ninth. Once again, pitcher on the mound for the Flyers, Eli Fisher, as we're underway here at Clyde Flyer Field. Once again, your first pitch brought to you by TPC Food Service. Well, somebody put him in as number 8. So the lineup card was filled out wrong. So, yeah, I've got him listed as 16 on my roster as well. But then on the lineup card, he's listed as number 8. So, yeah, I don't know. So, nevertheless, Isaiah Perez leading off for Old Fort. Eli Fisher on the mound for the Flyers, and we're underway here at Flyer Field. First pitch in there for a strike. Thanks for tuning in here on Heart of Ohio Sports. Nate Mullins on the call. Greg Kinn manning the cameras down the first base side. That one hit back up the middle to the shortstop, who fields and gloves, throws it over to first and throws it past the first baseman. So Perez will wheel his way to second. That's going to be an error and an extra base. Now, is that a throwing error or was that on the first baseman there? Yeah, I'm not sure if that would look like a good throw to me. It just wasn't clean. So runner at second base now, nobody out. Casey Klaus up to bat now for Old Fort. First pitch in there for a strike. That nice bunt down the third baseline. Pitcher fields, gloves, and throws it over to first and gets the out at first. What a play. I'll tell you, the first baseman was a little late getting over it. Was it the second baseman that covered? Yeah, second baseman covering first base makes the play. He was late getting over there, but, I mean, ranging from second base, he had to be.
The catcher, number 12, Carter Dubois.
So that'll move a runner over to third with one out. Brings up Carter Dubois. First pitch brushes him back, but in there for a strike. That one inside. Perez not wasting any time in between pitches. Umpire has to hold up his hand to tell him not to pitch yet because the batter's not even in the box. 1-2 the count. Perez said, I had enough time sitting around waiting for this game to start. I'm ready to go. That one fouled back. Dubois. You think this is sidearm? Wait till you see Snyder. He's got like that submarine, almost a 3/4 arm slot action. Oh, that one went off his bat as he went down to get away from the pitch, but hit off the end of his bat. So a foul ball keeps the count at 1-2. One out, runner at third. And Dubois just needs to put this one in play deep enough to score this run. Step off by the pitcher. The 1-2. Low. The 2-2. Outside. Brings the count to full. The 3-2. Swing and a miss. Nice pitch by Fisher as he sits down Dubois. That'll bring up Miles Miller.
Position. Third baseman. 10, Miles Miller.
Miller playing third base tonight. First pitch misses. 1-0 the count. 2 down. Runner still down there at third. The 2-0. Inside, 3-0, and it hit him. Just got a piece of him. So now that'll put runners on first and third.
Now batting, second baseman, number 1, Connor Berger.
Ernsberger, the batter. Pitch outside in the dirt. Runners will stay at first and third. In there for a strike. 1-1 the count. Let's take a look at our Skycam perspective here. As we got the netting we got to deal with today. Runner off, and he'll be into second standing. 2-1 the count. Runners now at second and third. The 2-1. Swing and a miss. Ernsberger batting .250 on the season. And he's going to slap that one to the right fielder, but it'll be playable, who squeezes it for the final out here in the top of the first. We head to the bottom of the first. No score.
No hits, 1 error, 1 walk, 2 left.
Stockaders Strand 2. Bottom of the first coming up. The 2 seed Norwalk St. Paul Flyers. Up to bat, we'll have Eli Fisher, Thomas Bocock, and Caden Maxwell. That's your 1, 2, 3 for the Norwalk St. Paul Flyers. Thanks for tuning in here on Heart of Ohio Sports. Once again, Nate Mullins on the call. We've got Greg Kinn manning the cameras down the first base side. Huge thanks to Russ Snyder for coming on and helping us out with the first broadcast. Let's see if I can get a better perspective for this camera here, because it's just not the signal's a little choppy because they keep shoving Greg into the dugout, and he's further and further inside the dugout, and that's just going to block the signal for our HDMI transmitter, which, you know, without a cord that's 300 feet long, I just can't reach that far to get a good enough angle to get over top of that fence. So that's why we ask if we can be inside the dugout. Well, some teams are friendlier than others. Some teams are like, yeah, go ahead, you're fine. Some teams are like, get back. You can't be that close to the field. Stand back. So it's difficult. Let's just say that. But we're trying our best, and we will do our best to bring you the highest quality broadcast that we can. Let's see if I can make this any better here.
Pitcher number 3.
There we go.
Fisher.
Fingers crossed. Hopefully that stays pretty latency free here for the rest of the ball game. And that's a nice hit there by Fisher as he slaps that one into left field for a base hit. Leadoff single.
Now batting the catcher, 10, Thomas Bocock.
Thomas Bocock, the catcher, up to the plate now. Nobody out, runner on first. You're in the bottom of the first. That nice bunt down the first base line. Snyder fields and throws it over to first and gets the runner at first for the first out of the inning, but they move the runner over to second. Close play, but the blue gives the call to the defense there. Nice hustle out of the box there by Bocock. He nearly beat that one out.
12, Caden Maxwell.
You know, a wristband is supposed to be on your wrist, not in your back pocket there, bud. Caden Maxwell takes a swing and a miss at that one.
He wants you to do, batter. He loves that. Thank you very much. I'll never get it in 1,000 years.
The 0-1. In there, strike 2 called. Snyder with that interesting arm angle. Comes at you out of that three-quarter slot almost. 0-2. That one upstairs. Try to get him to chase that high fastball.
61 strikeouts. That's more than anybody in the league. And he only he's 6-3 on the season. 61 strikeouts.
Snyder second in the league in strikeouts with 61, trailing only Nolan Hoover from Gibsonburg, who had 76 on the year. But that earned run average of 1.0, I mean, he's really locked in. For a junior, they're going to have a special squad coming back next year. Sectional champs, first time in 20 years. They got a lot of talent coming back next year. But they're locked and playing with house money right now. The 1-2 from Snyder. And that one hit well into left field, and it's not going to be playable as it's going to go drift foul. Caden Maxwell. 1-2 the count. High. 2-2. Snyder does have a lot of strikeouts, but he does have a lot of walks as well. 24 on the season. That one's going to go foul down the right baseline. He throws a lot of pitches, but he's known to work long into games. He's got a couple of complete game shutouts this year. The 2-2. Swung on, chopped up to the second baseman. Stays in front of it and throws it over to first for the second out. Runner does move over to third, but now with 2 outs. A little bit more manageable situation here.
Batting in the fourth position.
Luke Bloom strolls to the plate for the Flyers.
Number 66. Luke Bloom.
2 down, runner at third. The pitch from Snyder, that's going to be high. 1-0 the count. Winner of today's matchup moves on to face Tiffin Calvert this Friday here at Flyer Field. That one outside. 2-0 the count. They're saying he went around, so 2-1 the count. Bloom tried to check his swing there, but just had him guessing. 2-1 the count. 2 down, runner at third. Snyder comes set. The pitch. Just a little high there. 3-1 the count. The 3-1. High once again. Bloom draws a walk. So now runners at first and third with 2 outs.
Batting in the fifth position.
That'll bring Drew
Norwalk, St. Paul. Shortstop.
Coonley
Drew Coonley.
to the plate. Playing shortstop tonight for the Flyers. Snyder missing high here. Trying to locate that strike zone. Once he settles in, usually he's pretty good, but this first couple innings sometimes can be a little shaky. The 1-0. Swing and a miss. Ran that one upstairs on him, in on the hands. Evens the count at 1-1. The 1-1. Outside. Dubois does a nice job staying in front of that one. Three and 1 the count now. Falls behind the batter once again. Inside. 4-1. So he walks the batter. 2 straight batters. Now he's put on base, and that'll load the bases for Ashton Stang.
Batting 6th, the left fielder, number 5, Ashton Stang.
Stang playing left field tonight. Fouls that one at the plate. Two down, bases loaded here in the bottom of the first. Swing and a miss. Nice pitch there by Snyder. Now he's ahead of the batter, 0-2.
I remember that tall, lanky Cleveland pitcher about 4 years ago. He came to Cleveland from somewhere, maybe the Yankees.
Dubois looks the runner back down to third.
Tall, 6'7" lefty. They couldn't. He had some kind of pitch that dove right at the right hand of his feet, and they swung over top of it every time.
1-2 the count, 2 down. Snyder's pitch. That one going to be golfed into left field for a base hit. 1 run will score. Bloom rounding third. He'll head for home. 2-run score here in the bottom of the first for the Flyers. Nice piece of hitting there. Ashton Stang coming through with a two out, 2 RBI base hit. Runners at first and second now. St. Paul leading 2-0. That one misses. 1-0 the count. Nothing Norwalk St. Paul. That one high. 2-0 the count. Jacob Stanley, the DH, at the plate now for the Flyers. The 2-0 from Snyder brushes him back. 3-0 the count. Still trying to settle in here is Snyder. The 3-0. That one high. He draws another walk. So Snyder's having a little bit of trouble locating here in the first. And that's going to call an infield visit here. Coach Klaus comes out, wants to talk to his hurler. And we'll keep it right here. Once again, the mound visit, or call the bullpen, brought to you by your friends at Rodgers Flowers. Stop down and see Brian today. Grab yourself a new candle. They just got a new line of candles from the Swan Creek Candle Company. That's right. I had a chance to check out the display. And if you're a candle person, I love candles. My wife is a candle person, and she's made me into a candle person over the years. I wasn't at first, but now I am. They've got some, just great smelling candles down there at Rodgers Flowers. Stop down, check out the whole line. There's got to be a scent that will speak to you. So go on and see Brian at Rodgers Flowers. Bases loaded, 2 outs. That one hit foul down the third base side. Oh, and 1 the count on Cole Maxwell. Swing and a miss. Nice pitch there by Snyder. Now he's ahead of the batter, 0-2. The 0-2 outside. 1-2. Flyers batter showing a lot of patience here. They're not swinging at bad pitches. The 1-2. Swung on, hit into center field, but this one's playable for the center fielder who camps underneath and makes the play for the final out here in the first inning.
That's the end of the Norwalk St. Paul half of the first inning.
We head to the top of the second.
2 runs, 2 base hits.
Scored 2-0 Norwalk St. Paul as they plate 2 runs in that inning. Take a 2-0 lead over the Stockaders here at Clyde Flyer Field. Nate Mullins on the call today. We got Greg Kinn manning the cameras down the first base side. Thanks for tuning in here on Heart of Ohio Sports, folks. I want to remind you there's more playoff baseball coming later this week as we bring you Tiffin Columbian live from Bluffton Field. And that is a Thursday game, 4:30 scheduled first pitch, but as we learned today, anything can happen. So don't lock in your timer for 4:30 just yet. But yeah, that is a scheduled first pitch. Tiffin Columbian versus Ontario. That's a, once again, matchup from Bluffton Field this Thursday right here on Heart of Ohio Sports. I'll tell you about one of our fine sponsors here on Heart of Ohio Sports. Let's talk about your Legacy Federal Credit Union, shall we? I mean, they've been a part of this community for over 70 years. They're a member-driven financial cooperative. They're delighted to provide a personal touch to an often impersonal industry with a focus on respect and member satisfaction while caring for your financial needs. Stop at Your Legacy, located at 25 Schaefer Park Drive in Tiffin. Your community, your legacy. Federally insured NCUA. Top of the second, Eli Fisher had a 1-2-3 first. Well, no, he didn't. Well, other than an error and a walk, didn't allow a hit in the first, I should say. And that one in there for a strike. So 0-2 gets ahead quickly of the batter. Oh, yeah, he doesn't waste any time in between pitches. Cleveland is that's going to be trouble. It drops for a base hit. And the second baseman had trouble finding his footing out there in right field, but they hold him to just a single. Carter Cleveland standing down at first base with a leadoff single. That'll bring up Isaac Snyder. Snyder in the last game against New Regal hit one over the fence. Playoff home run against the Blue Jackets. That one skips away from the catcher, gets to the backstop. Cleveland will make his way down to second base. 2-0 to Snyder. Fisher now taking a little bit more time in between pitches. That one inside. 3-0 the count. A pitcher's really deceptive with his actions on the mound because his intentions aren't exactly clear. And that one misses, so 4 straight pitches, and he walks Snyder to put runners on first and second.
Batting the left fielder, number 6, Simon Garza.
So runners on first and second, nobody out for Simon Garza. That went in there for a strike from Fisher. Fisher's so ready after every time he gets that ball back, the umpire literally has to hold his hand up to tell him to stop. Oh, what a beautiful bunt down the first base side. And he moves the runners over, but he does his job as the sacrifice bunt puts runners at second and third. Nicely done there. So Simon Garza moves the runners over for Harry King, playing right field tonight for the Stockaders. Wanted to make sure he got the right call from the third base coach. So he literally ran down to the coach to say, what was that again? One out, runners at second and third. Oh, slow chopper, and that's going to be trouble. Runner will score, safe at the plate. All runners are safe. Now runners at first and third. And the Stockaders score a run. Now we got a question. Now, if you got an umpire that's right on top of the call, why would another umpire down at first base even bother to question that call? I just don't. That's, to me, it's a head scratcher, because you really got to have some kind of stones to question a call on a guy that's right on top of it, you know? So what happened? Are they going to say that was a foul? Or are they saying he was out? No. So they're saying it was a foul. So no run scored. We'll get it under control here. We'll get it figured out. So it's still 2-0 Norwalk. 0-1 the count, one down. And that one hit back to the second baseman. That will score a run. So it makes your score 2-1. Runner down at third base now with 2 down.
Batting Isaiah Perez.
That'll bring up Isaiah Perez. Even though he's listed as number 8 on the lineup card, he's wearing number 16 tonight. First pitch outside for a ball. Hit back up the middle. Shortstop Fields throws, and that's the final out here.
And that's the end.
In the top of the second.
Top half of the second inning.
One run scored by the Stockaders, but they still trail by 1. 2-1 is your score as we head to the bottom of the second inning. Nate Mullins here on the call with you. Greg Kinn manning the cameras down the first base side. Thanks to all of our sponsors for bringing you today's ball game. Thanks to MST Sauce Company, First National Bank of Sycamore, Xcaret Mexican Restaurant, TPC Food Service, Your Legacy Federal Credit Union, Rodgers Flowers, Phillips Electric, Steinmetz Signs and Graphic Ink, Reclaim It, Molyet's Farm Market and Garden Center, and Bookmeyer Printing, all proud sponsors right here on Heart of Ohio Sports. We couldn't thank them enough for their contributions here, because without them, we wouldn't be here, folks. We wouldn't be able to bring you this ball game. Take this time to tell you about another one of my friends. We'll just call them friends. They're all friends. Every one of these people that are sponsors with us, I've had the opportunity to sit down and establish a relationship with them. So I like to think that we're friends, at least on an acquaintance level, you know? So I want to tell you about Steinmetz Signs and Graphic Ink. So if you watched Mulling It Over this morning, you saw behind me the big, beautiful banner that we have printed out. She did an outstanding job. And it was the back and forth that really got me, because she wasn't satisfied with just anything. She wanted to make sure this looked good. She wanted to make sure it was presentable for us and for her as well, because we're telling people that she's making the stuff for us. So when we get this banner back, not only is it a little bit bigger than what I thought it was going to be, because, you know, I just don't know anything about ordering banners. I was like, yeah, it was 6 feet, 4 feet. Yeah, sure. It's huge, but it also is beautiful. She did an outstanding job with it. They're there for all your printing and design needs, from reunions to small events to business apparel to even vehicle lettering. They've got you covered. They are your local one-stop shop. So stop in and see Katina and the great people at Steinmetz Signs and Graphic Ink. And while you're in the store, shop for some apparel. They've got all the schools in the area stocked and ready in store. You're bound to find something. Snyder's first pitch fouled at the plate. He's going to pick it up and throw to first, and he hits the batter in the back with the ball.
Make those defenses field those bunts.
So Ben Berger works his way on with a bunt to lead off. Must not have trusted his bat much, but he got the job done. Those leadoff bunts are always a question mark for me because does he not know how to swing the bat? I mean, that's a dangerous situation unless he's a really good bunter, which in that case he laid down a heck of a bunt. Throw over to first. He's back safely. It just doesn't, I don't know. If you're cool with just one base at a time, yeah, play small ball. That's awesome. Eli Fisher at the plate. Swung on and foul tipped. Stands in deep in that batter's box. Righty-lefty matchup here. Swing and a miss. Swung right over the top of that one. And Snyder's one of those guys where once he starts getting that pitch going, if he's got it working, he's going to be hard to hit the rest of this one. Throw over to first. Carter Cleveland unable to field that one cleanly. And as he fires it down to second, and the runner will move forward. So runner on second now with nobody out. Eli Fisher still at the plate, facing an 0-2 count. The 0-2. Swung on and popped straight up to the center fielder. No play for the runner there as he's pretty much just got to stand right on second base. So one out. Runner still down at second base. That'll bring up Thomas Bocock, the catcher. Runner down at second with one out. That looked like a good pitch, but Bocock did a nice job of holding up on it. Looked pretty close to the last pitch, but that one's in there for a strike. 1-1 the count. In there for a strike. That one had some nice movement on it. The 1-2. That one fouled off. The 1-2. High and outside. Just lost that one coming out of his hand. You can tell he slipped a little bit. 2-2 the count. Snyder comes set. The pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him to chase that one. And Bocock goes down swinging. That makes two down for Caden Maxwell. Swing and a miss. Nice pitch. The 0-1 from Snyder. Another got a little piece of that one. Thought he might have swung a miss, but did manage to get a little tick on that one. 0-2 the count. that one. Golf swing into left field. And the left fielder squeezes that one for the final out here in the second inning.
That's the end of the Norwalk half of the second.
So the Flyers get a leadoff base runner. They get him over to second with no out, but unable to score him in.
One left on base.
So we head to the top of the third. Still 2-1.
Flyers 2.
Norwalk St. Paul leading. Thanks for tuning in here on Heart of Ohio Sports. Nate Mullins with you on the call. We've got Greg Kinn manning the cameras down the first base side. I want to take a moment and remind you of more high school playoff baseball right here on Heart of Ohio Sports later this week as we come to you live from Bluffton Field. 4:30 start time for that one as Tiffin Columbian takes on Ontario in the district semifinal. Make sure you tune in right here on Heart of Ohio Sports. Right around 4:25 for the first pitch. 4:25 for the pregame show. 4:30 first pitch. Once again, right here on the pulse of the Buckeye State, Heart of Ohio Sports. Getting settled into the new studio. Still waiting on the Spectrum guys to come in and install internet for us, but the call's in, the order's in. Hopefully that'll be soon as we are working to get internet service there so we can do live streams from the location. But as for right now, the internet, we're using a hotspot. Let's just say that. And it's just not good for streaming inside of a brick building. So we're doing the best we can.
Leading off the top of the third inning.
Well, here we are in the top of the third.
Casey Klaus.
Up to bat for the Stockaders, you have Casey Klaus, Carter Dubois, and Miles Miller, your 2-3-4 hitters. Coming up next. Klaus hits that one. It's a dribbler at the plate, and it's going to be dropped by the first baseman. So that's going to be another error charged to that first baseman. As Klaus able to beat that one out.
Now batting Carter Dubois. Pitcher threw it.
Carter Dubois up to the plate now. Runner on first.
That's a French spelling. That was Dubois. It should be. Somebody got in there and said, I'm not French. I don't know.
That one in there for a strike. 0-2 the count.
People say Worcester instead of Worcester. Wow. It's Worcester. Yeah, that's what most people call it, Worcester. But, it's like the word moon. You get to say moon, you don't say moon.
Oh, Dubois takes that one right between the shoulder blades. And that'll put him on. Nobody out. Now runners at first and second. That'll bring up Miles Miller. And we're going to get a mound visit here. As he just kind of lost the break on that curveball there. Lost control of it. Once again, calls to the bullpen or mound visits brought to you by your friends at Rodgers Flowers. Stop in to see Brian today. Check out their new line of candles from the Swan Creek Candle Company. At Rodgers Flowers, you're sure to find what you need for that special someone in your life. They're truly your one-stop destination for all of your special occasion needs. Mound visit. Wants to come out and talk to the pitcher. Just settle him down. Just tell him, hey, settle in. Pitch your game.
Miles Miller.
Worry about the guy at the plate. Don't worry about these guys on the bags. Nobody out. Runners at first and second for the Stockaders with Miles Miller standing in there. Swing and a miss. Nice pitch by Fisher. Miller batting .231 on the season with a .394 on-base percentage. Swings that one and hits it into center field. This should be deep enough to score a run. Oh, no, never mind. There's at second, not at third. What am I thinking? I thought we had a runner at third. Nope, just at first and second. They'll stay where they're at. Nobody's moving. Nobody's moving anywhere. Now we have a 1 out.
Connor Ernsberger.
So Connor Ernsberger steps up to the plate now with 1 out, runners at first and second. First pitch in there for a strike. That one low, so 1-1 the count, evens the count up. Connor Ernsberger in the batter's box, batting .250 on the season. That one a slow roller to third. Third baseman gloves and throws to first, but it gets away from the first baseman. 1 run will score. They scamper down to second base. That'll put runners at second and third with 1 out.
Carter Cleveland.
So runners now at second and third. Tie ball game. 1 out. Ooh, man, he's lucky he got out of the way of that one. Dubois slides in. He's safe at the plate. Nice slide there from Dubois. He goes in head first and gets his hand in there before the tag to put the Stockaders up by 1. So Old Fort takes the lead 3-2 on a wild pitch. That one, I'll tell you, Carter Cleveland's lucky he ducked out of the way because that was aimed right at his helmet. I'm sure he wasn't aiming it, but I don't think he aimed there, but it's where it was going. That's where it was headed. That went outside. The 2-1. Fouled off. Runner down at third base. 2-2 count. Cleveland fouls that one off to stay alive. Count stays at 2-2. And once again, Carter Cleveland just fighting that one off. And he swings and pops this one up. Looks to be playable, but not quite. Catcher gives chase, but unable to make the play as that one drifts foul out of play. That one outside. 3-2 the count. So now a full count. 1 out, runner at third. And that one a high. Misses the strike zone. And Cleveland draws a walk. That'll bring up Isaac Snyder. And now we got a mound visit here as coach wants to talk things over. And now we're going to get a pitching change. Call to the bullpen brought to you by your friends at Rodgers Flowers. Once again, stop in and see Brian today. And I'll tell you, this is one of those situations where it's a 3-2 ball game. You don't want to get this. You don't want to let this game get too far out of control. So that's why you see this pitching change. That's why you see the change right here. They bring Fisher out and into the game now for the Flyers. I believe is this number 2 taking over? Okay, so DH now goes to center field. And I believe yeah, so now you'll have, let me see, Caden Maxwell taking over on the mound here for the Flyers. Little switcheroo here as we see Fisher now manning shortstop. And the DH, number 25, Jacob Stanley, will take his spot in center field.
Maxwell.
The center fielder, Caden Maxwell, comes on to pitch. Tall, lanky, all arms and legs on the mound there. He's got a lot going on in that motion. So Maxwell comes on now as your second pitcher for the Flyers here in the top of the third. You got a runner at third base, one out. Runner at first and third, sorry. One out.
Batting Isaac Snyder.
That'll bring up Isaac Snyder. Runners at first and third with just one out.
If they pay me, I might. I'm not going to go nuts.
First pitch in there for a strike. They're going to give him second base, so runner will go down to second without a throw. Snyder chops that one third base side. They'll come home, and they'll catch the runner in a rundown, and they'll get that runner in between third and home plate. So Bocock with a nice play there coming out and tagging the runner out, Ernsberger, for the second out. Keeps runners at first and third.
Simon Garza.
And that'll bring up Simon Garza. Swing and a miss. Nice throw there by Maxwell. Hit right back up the middle of the pitcher. Gloves and throws to first for the final out here in the top of the third. So Stockaders take the lead 3-2.
And that's the end of the Stockader half of the third inning.
We head to the bottom of the third.
No base hits.
3-2 Old Fort
Two left.
here on Heart of Ohio Sports. Thanks to Greg Kinn for manning the cameras down on the first base side. Nate Mullins with you here on the call. Also, special thanks to Russ Snyder for helping me out with that first game. As it was just, he wanted to, he's always offering to help any way he can. But he reached out to me, said, hey, if you need any help, I'll be there for both games. So just let me know. And when the games got moved from Wednesday to Tuesday, I lost two of my guys that were going to be on the call for this one with me. So luckily I called in a favor with Russ, and he was more than happy to oblige. So once again, big shout out and thank you to Russ Snyder for his help with that first game. And he would have stuck around for the second game, but I told him to get out there, watch your kid pitch. Don't worry about calling this game. Just watch your kid pitch. Isaac Snyder on the mound for his third inning of work here. Started out shaky, giving up those 2 runs in the first, but settled in there in the second inning And that seems to be the case with Snyder. I'm telling you, if you're going to get him, you need to get him early because once he settles in, you're not going to touch him. He's just, his stuff is nasty once he locates it. Some of the filthiest pitches I've seen this season have come out of the hand of this young man right here. Leading off, bottom of the third, Luke Bloom, first baseman.
St. Paul. Luke Bloom.
That first pitch outside misses for a ball. The 1-0 swung on, fouled back. Let's take a look at our Skycam perspective, brought to you by your friends at Reclaim It. Of course, we got a little bit of netting to deal with, but keeps us safe, keeps the cameras safe. That one popped up on the infield. Second baseman squeezes it for the first out.
Drew Cooley.
That'll bring up Drew Coonley. Coonley playing shortstop tonight, batting cleanup. No, I'm batting fifth, sorry. Bloom was cleanup. Obviously, we should have known that. That went in there for a strike. Foul tip. Straight back. 0-2. Swing and a miss. Nice pitch from Snyder. Sits down Coonley for the second out.
Ashton Stang.
That'll bring up Ashton Stang, the left fielder. Inside, high fastball, brushes him back. Hit right back up the middle, past the pitcher, into center field for a two-out base hit. That'll bring up Jacob Stanley. That one in there for a strike. Tried to hold up, but I don't think it mattered. It was going to drop in there. The 0-1. Swing and a miss. 0-2 the count now. Snyder had him flailing at that one. Runner down at first base. Here with two outs. Hit right back up the middle. Snyder stops it with his glove, but unable to make a play. Casey Klaus with a nice little heads-up play there as he faked the throw to first. Almost got the runner at second to give a little bit of a lead there. But
Maxwell.
two outs. Both these last hits have gone straight back up the middle. And that'll bring up number 2, Cole Maxwell. Runners at first and second with two outs. That one misses. 1-0 the count. The 1-0 from Snyder. In the dirt, 2-0. Falls behind the batter here. In there for a strike. Nice pitch. Boy, Maxwell didn't know if that was going to hit him in the face or drop in for a strike, and it just kind of bent right back into the strike zone. The 2-1. Painted the outside corner, so he works both sides of the plate now, and he's got Maxwell guessing right now because he's frustrated with that call. So now he's got to settle himself down, come up here and attack this 2-2. Swing and a miss. Snyder sits him down to end the inning.
That's the end of the Norwalk Sycamore third inning.
What a pitch by Isaac Snyder.
One hit. Two left on base.
Gets out of a little jam he put himself into there, but
Here at Flyer
no
Field,
damage done by the Flyers. We head to the top of the fourth.
Old Fort 3 and St. Paul 2.
Still 3-2, Old Fort. Caden Maxwell on for his second inning of work now as he came in relief of Eli Fisher. Thanks for tuning in once again right here on Heart of Ohio Sports. Take a moment to tell you about another one of my fine sponsors here. One of my friends in the Tiffin area. I've told you about our fine folks at TPC, but I just don't think you know enough about this company because they do so many things in this community. I work for Madison Street Tavern. I've worked there for about 14 years now, and we have an outstanding relationship with this local company to the point where at first we were using a lot of the big food distributors. We won't name them any names, but we started out using some of these bigger distributors, but the more experience that we got with TPC, the more it was like, this is natural. We should just be sticking with these guys. We should just get everything through them. Why bother with these bigger food distributors when everything's right here in your backyard and you'd be supporting something so local and something that supports everything in this community? So once again, I don't have to tell you enough about TPC, but I'm going to. And it's a great community-minded business. Been in business for over 75 years, serving the Tiffin community. If you want to know a little bit more about what they have to offer as a first pitch swung on and missed, give them a call, 800-342-0477. TPC Food Service, big enough to serve you, small enough to care. Maxwell rocks and fires. Nice bunt down the first base side, but fielded cleanly by the pitcher. And he throws over to first for the first out. So Harry King bunts, and that one is going to go for the first out of the inning. That'll bring up Isaiah Perez. Perez playing center field tonight. Maxwell's first pitch misses low. As we mentioned, winner of today's game goes on to face Tiffin Calvert this Friday here at Clyde Flyer Field. That pitch inside, 2-0 the count on Perez. That one chopped to the shortstop. Nice glove, who throws him out at first. Fisher displays the glove there, flashing it for the second out of the inning. That'll bring up Casey Klaus. That one fouled back by Klaus. Klaus playing shortstop tonight. One of the better fielding shortstops in the SBC River. There's a lot of good ones, but he's one of the better ones. That one in there for a strike. 0-2 the count. The 0-2. Swung on. This one's going to be trouble for the shortstop, but no, it's not. Never mind. Kind of looked like it off the bat, but it just kind of hung up there, and that'll be the third out. So top of the fourth, 1-2-3. We head to the bottom of the fourth. Still 3-2 Old Fort. Doing 2 games in one day, hey, we're trying to keep it straight up here. Yeah. Trying is the key word. Thanks for tuning in with me. Nate Mullins on the call. Greg Kinn manning the cameras down the first base side. Once again, you're here tuned in on the Heart of Ohio Sports, the pulse of the Buckeye State. We have mulling it over tomorrow morning. We've got more high school baseball on Thursday. And, of course, we'll be back here on Friday for more high school playoff baseball. As we now know, the Tiffin Calvert Senecas will be awaiting the winner of today's matchup. We'll be here to cover that one regardless of who wins this one, because obviously we cover Tiffin and surrounding area teams as long as they go. We made that commitment to our sponsors, and we've got quite a few sponsors who really just want to be involved with supporting local athletics, especially both of these Tiffin teams, Tiffin Columbian, Tiffin Calvert. We've also got quite a few sponsors who they want to be involved with supporting Old Fort, Hopewell, a lot of local schools that these businesses, they want to be a part of, and they want people to know that they're there to support these kids. That's important. Isaac Snyder on for his 4th inning of work now. Had 2 base runners stranded in the 3rd inning. Leading off for Norwalk St. Paul, Ben Berger, the 8-hitter, and then you have Alex Weaver and Eli Fisher getting back to the top of the order. That one inside. The 1-0 from Snyder. Swung on, fouled back. 1-1 the count. As a batter, as a righty, watching that ball come out of his hand, it's almost impossible to pick that up. It just explodes out of his hand at the last minute, and then you got to try to find a way to locate that, which Berger just did a nice job of right there. Slapped that one into left field. Leadoff base hit. Sets himself up now for Fisher. Eli Fisher standing in the batter's box. Nice bunt down the third base line. Dubois fields, throws to first, gets the runner out there. But they do their job, and they move the runner over into scoring position with just 1 out. Bottom of the 4th, 3-2 Old Fort. Flyers threatening with a runner in scoring position here with 1 out. Thomas Bocock, the batter. The 1-0. Swing and a miss. Actually got a little piece of it, I think, maybe. Either that or it just popped out of the catcher's glove. One and one the count. That one popped up right around center field. Looks to be playable. Squeezes it for the second out. Runner will have to stay at second. So they got a runner over, but now just got to find a way to get him home here with 2 outs. That'll bring up the pitcher, Caden Maxwell. 0 for 2 on the day. He swings and pops that one up on the infield. Shortstop comes over to make the play for the final out here in the 4th inning. We head to the top of the 5th. Still 3-2 Old Fort. Nate Mullins and Greg Kinn on the call here with you. Well, Greg's not really on the call. He's just down there running the cameras, but we want to thank him and give him the shout out that he deserves. He's the unsung hero today, folks. With the studio setup and everything we've been trying, we moved in everything on Saturday. We tried to set everything up for the podcast for Monday night. We got everything set up. We did everything we needed, and then we went ahead and did the show this morning from the studio. We said, oh, why not? Let's just go ahead and do the show. Then after we got done with the show, pack everything up and get ready for the game, and we get over here, and I say, how am I supposed to log in without a keyboard? So luckily, Greg was nice enough to hop in the truck, drive over to, was it Family Dollar over here? Yeah, Family Dollar. And luckily, they had one last keyboard remaining in the store. And he snagged it up for us, brought it over here, and we are ever so thankful for all of his efforts here with Heart of Ohio Sports. But he's always found a way to come through in the clutch. Top of the 5th. Leading off here for Old Fort, Carter Dubois. And then you've got Miles Miller and Connor Ernsberger, your 3-4-5 hitters for the Stockaders. Caden Maxwell on now for his 3rd inning of work. Came in the middle of the 2nd. District semifinal baseball here on Heart of Ohio Sports. OHSAA playoffs. As Dubois takes a swing at that one and misses. 0-1. Top of the 5th. 3-2 Old Fort. Stockaders trying to add to that lead here. That one high. 1-1 the count. Dubois takes a swing at that one and misses. Make the count 1-2. And Dubois is going to get a free bag as that one hits him. So he didn't really have to take much of that one because I don't really think he got much of him, but he earned it. Got himself a free bag. Now the Stockaders have a runner at first with nobody out. That'll bring Miles Miller to the plate. First pitch misses outside. Miller chops that one foul into the dugout. One and one the count. The pitch hit right back up the middle. This is double play ball. Fisher steps on second, throws to first, but he pulls the first baseman off the bag. Probably wouldn't have got him anyways. That would have going to be a bang play. And I think Miller with the hustle would have beat the throw. So it was going to be a tough play to make, but Fisher made a good attempt at it. So they get the lead runner, one out, still runner at first. And that'll bring up Connor Ernsberger. That one popped up foul off to the first base side. That one hit to the shortstop, who gloves and throws over to first for the out. What a stretch and a pick by that first baseman. Made up for a couple of errors in the first couple of innings by that one. That was a nice play. So that's the second out of the inning. Puts Miles Miller at second base. Carter Cleveland standing in the batter's box now for the Stockaders. Hit right back up the middle to the pitcher, Maxwell. Lazily throws it to first for the final out in the top of the fifth. So the Stockaders get a runner on first with nobody out, but unable to bring him home. As they leave him stranded at second, we head to the bottom of the fifth. Still 3-2 Old Fort. Thanks for tuning in here on Heart of Ohio Sports. Once again, Nate Mullins on the call with you. Take a moment to tell you about one of our proud community-minded sponsors. Xcaret Mexican Restaurant. They're a staple in the Tiffin community. But stop out and check out their new look menu. Folks, if you haven't seen the new menu, you got to stop out and check it out. They got some delicious new items. They've added a few new ones, like the Ohio State Burrito. That's right, chicken, chorizo, and grilled onions wrapped up in a giant flour tortilla. Then they smother that in queso, bacon, and grilled pineapple. Oh, my goodness, it's so good. And I'm making everybody up here jealous talking about all this delicious food. It's truly an experience in itself. Trust me when I say this is a must-try, folks. And make sure you pair it with a margarita or something. I mean, they sell virgin margaritas. If you want to get yourself a nice little strawberry daiquiri or a, whatever you want. They make virgin drinks. They make drinks for adults. They've got to-go drinks. That's something new that started with the pandemic that I think, there were some silver linings from the pandemic. One of those is to-go alcohol. We'll just say that. We'll just leave it at that. It was definitely a silver lining. But here we are getting ready to start the bottom of the fifth. Isaac Snyder on the mound for his fifth inning of work. And he's really settled in nicely here over these last couple of innings. Of course, baseball season's almost done, and we are just about ready to start putting our football schedule together. That's right. We've got a football schedule that we're putting together right now that's going to encompass many of the area teams. I'll tell you more about that just after this. Snyder's first pitch in there for a strike. That's right. We've partnered with Dead Shark Productions to produce all of our video commercials for football season. So when you watch football broadcast this fall, you're going to see high definition, high quality, locally produced television commercials right here on Heart of Ohio Sports. I know nobody likes ads. Everybody hates ads, but it helps us keep our content paywall free, folks. You don't want to pay to watch the game? Well, you're going to have to listen to some ads. Big deal. So what? That's right. That's when you get up to get a beer. Make sure you turn the volume up a little bit, though. Nice pitch from Snyder. He throws it by the batter. And Bloom just kind of took a swing at that one, but he hasn't been able to have much success today at the plate. Snyder, really, like I said, folks, you got to touch him up early. Because once he settles in, good luck. The 1-0. Ooh, hits him in the back. Just lost the grip on that one, so Drew Coonley draws a free base the hard way. He wore that one. That'll bring up Ashton Stang. Swing and a miss. Nice pitch from Snyder. Boy, the way that pitch comes out of his hand, it looks like it's going to drop right in the strike zone, and it just skirts away. For a righty, that's just so hard. Snap throw to first. A runner was not sleeping on that one as he got back quickly. The 0-1 gets away from the catcher. The runner will scamper down to second. So runner in scoring position now with one out. Bottom of the fifth. Flyers threatening with a runner in scoring position here. The 1-1. Bunted, but foul at the plate. So Stang will have to come back. They'll take that bunt sign off now. Count 1 and 2. And nice job. That was pretty slick right there. That's pretty smart baseball right there. Turns around and fakes the throw and try to act like he threw it by him. I like that. Swing and a miss. Well, he had him flailing at that one. Sits him down. That made him look real bad there. Snyder had him guessing on that one as Stang sits down for the second out here in the bottom of the fifth. That'll bring up Jacob Stanley, the DH. Curveball just didn't have quite enough curve on it. 1-0 the count. Oh, what a job by Dubois to snag that one out of the air, preventing it from going to the backstop, keeping that runner at second. 2-0 the count. Snyder's got his pitch. Comes set. Here it is. That one paints the outside corner for a strike. 2-1 the count now. Swing and a miss. 2-2. After falling behind the hitter, 2-0. He's worked his way back to even the count. 2-2 count, 2 outs, runner at second. 3-2 lead for Old Fort. Chop to third, Miller, gloves, throws over to first, and they get the out for the final out here in the bottom of the fifth. So Old Fort taking care of business, mowing them down here as we head to the top of the sixth. Still 3-2 Stockaders. Take a moment and tell you about another one of our fine community-minded sponsors. Let's talk about Phillips Electric. Phillips Electric in downtown Tiffin, they're an authorized dealer of Whirlpool products. Whirlpool advances technology to the point of simplicity, creating innovation that's forward-thinking. Great design that fits seamlessly into life and is truly a pleasure to live with. So if you're looking for a Whirlpool, Maytag, or Kenmore products in Tiffin, or if you have any questions, give Greg and Tom Phillips a call at 419-447-3934. Just stop by Phillips Electric, 176 South Washington Street at any time, and they'll be happy to assist you. Getting ready to start the top of the sixth here. Caden Maxwell on the bump, working on his fourth inning of work. Isaac Snyder leading off. So you have the 8, 9, and the 1 hitters here. No, 7, 8, 9 hitters, sorry.
All right. We're back in action. You get your pictures? I got my ready for Molyet. Now batting Isaac Snyder.
Top of the 6th. Isaac Snyder leading off for Old Fort. Swing and a miss. Maxwell throws it by him.
Lost both times. But South Central, I guess, was their best team that they played.
That one high. 1-1 the count. Snyder takes a rip at that one and fouls it off. 1-2 the count. Swing and a miss. Maxwell sits him down. That's the first out of the top of the 6th. That'll bring up Simon Garza. What a pitch by Maxwell. Drops that one in there for a strike. Garza hits that one first base side. There's nobody to cover first, and the first baseman misplays it. So that'll get through for a error. Definitely won't be a base hit. So that'll put a runner on first for Harry King. King playing right field tonight. Take a look at our sky cam perspective here. Oh, what a bunt by King. Lays it down perfectly. And they move the runner over to second now. So a runner at second base now with 2 down. That'll bring up Isaiah Perez. Perez fouls that one back. In there for a strike. And Perez kind of standing there. He stands deep in that batter's box, so he's right over the plate. It kind of looked like that might have been a little bit inside, but no, it was right on. That one behind the batter. Skips away from the catcher. Runner will advance down to third. So a runner on third now with 2 outs. Now if they can get him home, that's a big run right there. 1-2 the count on Perez. Perez hits this one into right field, playable, and the right fielder will make the play for the final out here in the top of the 6th.
That's the end of the Old Fort half of the 6th inning. No runs. No hits. 1 error. 1 left. In the middle of the 6th, it's still Old Fort 3. Norwalk St. Paul 2.
So Old Fort leading 3-2 as we head to the bottom of the 6th. Thanks for tuning in here on Heart of Ohio Sports. Of course, we have some more broadcasts coming to you later this week. Mulling it over Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Tune in at 8:30 a.m. for that one. A little bit of a morning show, morning variety show kind of thing. And then make sure you tune in Thursday as we have more high school playoff baseball. We bring you the Tiffin Columbian versus Ontario matchup live from Bluffton High School. And then Friday, we'll be right back here at Clyde Flyer Field as we await the winner of today's matchup between Old Fort and St. Paul. These two teams await Tiffin Calvert as they won earlier against Hopewell Loudon. 7-3 in 10 innings. Yes, it took 10 innings to decide that one, even though it was a 4-run game. Seneca scratched across 4 in the top of the 10th and then shut them down in the bottom and took away the win, and they move on to the district final. Second year in a row they'll play for the district final.
Leading off the bottom of the 6th inning for Norwalk St. Paul.
Norwalk St. Paul
Cole Maxwell.
up to bat now in the bottom of the 6th. Cole Maxwell playing second base for the Flyers tonight. Isaac Snyder on for his 6th inning of work. And he is sharp as he fires that one by the batter for a first pitch strike. That one down the third base side. That's going to be a fair ball. Left fielder closing in, and they're going to limit him to a base hit. So initially that looked like it might have been good enough for a double, but nice job by that left fielder getting over there to make that play and a strong throw into the infield to keep the runner over at first. But they do have a leadoff runner on first. That'll bring up Ben Berger. That one high, gets away from the catcher. Dubois caught that one cleanly off the backstop, but unable to make a play as he comes up. So runner will move down to second base. Nobody out. 1-0 the count on Berger. That one a bunt. Nicely done. Snyder comes off the mound, fields it, throws him out at first. It was a close play at first, but they'll give that one to the defense. They'll move the runner over to third. Runner on third base, 1 out for Eli Fisher. That one fouled away. Snyder has his pitch. The 0-1. Outside. 1-1. Bottom of the 6th here. Big time situation. Nice bunt down the third base side. What a play by Eli Fisher.
Safety squeeze. Excellent.
The Flyers will tie the game.
Never saw one of those all year either.
3 apiece now.
Thomas Bocock.
And now a runner at first base with 1 out. That'll bring up Thomas Bocock. And that one will hit the batter. That's kind of what I thought. He literally, you want to talk about not turning away from a pitch? He turned into that pitch. I mean, he wanted that one.
I know if my brother would be pitching, he'd throw a high hard one
We do have a call to the bullpen. Of course, it's just going to be a mound visit. Snyder up over 90 pitches. He's approaching 100, I think, on the game. 100. He's at 100, so right at 100 pitches for the game. Call to the bullpen's brought to you by your friends at Rodgers Flowers. Make sure you stop down and see Brian. Grab yourself one of those new hanging flower baskets he's got right outside the shop. They're just going to give a little pep talk to Snyder, and he's going to come back out and finish this one off, I think. So he's got one out. He's got runners at first and second. 3-3 tie.
Eden Maxwell.
Show bunt once again. They bring him off the mound. Snyder comes off, fields it, throws to first, and he wildly throws that one away. And one run will score, and they're going to hold the runner at third. So runners once again at second and third. Now the St. Paul Flyers will take a lead, 4-3. So still just one out.
Luke Bloom.
That'll bring up Luke Bloom. That one outside. You see him starting to labor a little bit now. He's getting up into that 100 pitch count. Fatigue is definitely a factor here. Got that one across.
I remember when I was taking pictures. I got him.
1-1 the count with one out. St. Paul leading 4-3. That one's going to get away from the catcher, and another one will score. And the Flyers take a 5-3 lead now. Now score 5-3. Runner down at third base. Swing and a miss. Throws it by Bloom to even the count at 2-2. That one outside. 3-2 the count. That's probably going to be his last pitch right here. Definitely his last batter, but we'll see if it's his last pitch here. That one popped foul and out of play. The 3-2 from Snyder. Outside, and he walks him. So that's most likely going to be his final pitch. We'll see what the call is here. No, it's not. So Snyder will stay in the game here. Runners at first and third with one out. That one bunted foul straight back. Yeah, you had the squeeze play on there. They're trying to get that runner in from third.
That's when the pitcher's supposed to throw his head. You don't let him bunt because there's no way to defend it.
Throw it right by him on the bunt attempt.
Yeah, right.
So 0-2 the count now. They'll probably take off the bunt sign. That one well outside. 1-2. Runners at first and third, one out. Time called. All right, he had a word with somebody outside. That went outside for a ball. 2-2. That one skips in the dirt. It gets away from the catcher, and another run will score. Snyder's got to get this batter out. You don't want to take him out on a 3-2 count. You got to get this guy out. That one chopped foul down the third base side, so putting together a pretty decent at-bat here. Drew Coonley trying to keep the pressure on Snyder here. Flyers have plated 4 in this inning. That one hit to the second baseman. From his knees will throw him out. I'll tell you, Ernsberger, he's hurting as he's taking his time getting up from his knees on that one. He definitely felt that one as he went down to his knees to get that one. Second out of the inning, but that'll score a run as it is now 7-3, and we'll get a call to the bullpen now. Pitching change now as Miles Miller will come in for the Stockaders. Of course, as we mentioned, call to the bullpen brought to you by your friends at Rodgers Flowers. Miller comes into the game here in the 6th inning. On the season, 30 innings pitched. He's got a 3.5 ERA. Struck out 39 batters, and he's allowed 17 hits. 2-2 record. Coming up next for Norwalk St. Paul, you'll have Austin Stang. It had to have been something that they saw on film about Snyder, that they just were so aggressive with the bunt strategy. I've seen so many bunts today from these Flyers, and you don't normally see that against Isaac Snyder. A lot of guys are going up there swinging. They're trying to get contact. They must have saw something on film that said, you know, why are we trying to flail away at some of these pitches that he's throwing outside the strike zone? Stay patient, and if he's throwing it over the plate, let's play some small ball here. And I'd say most of these runs here, these 4 runs in this inning especially, they're a product of the small ball. They're just taking what the pitcher gives them. Miller fires that one in there for a strike. Nobody on, 2 outs. That one gets away from the catcher. That's foul tip. Foul tip by the batter there. Ashton Stang got a little piece of that one. 0-2 the count. That one high. Stang ducks out of the way. 1-2. The 1-2 for Miller. Inside. 2-2. Flyers came into this inning trailing 3-2. They have plated 5 here to take the lead 7-3. And they batted through the order. Stang gets a hold of that one, but playable, and the left fielder will squeeze it for the final out here in the 6th inning. So 5 runs scored by the St. Paul Flyers. They take the 7-3 lead into the 7th inning. Top of the 7th coming up right here on Heart of Ohio Sports. Don't go anywhere, folks. We've got the exciting conclusion of this one coming up. We've got the post-game show. Stick around, brought to you by First National Bank of Sycamore, where we will bring you the player of the game. Player of the game, of course, brought to you by MST Sauce Company. Stockaders down to their final 3 outs here unless they can make something happen. Rough inning for the Stockaders there is 6 errors in that inning led to 5 runs for the St. Paul Flyers. And that's where we stand. 7-3 is your score. Caden Maxwell on the mound. This is his, let's see, he came in the middle of the 2nd, so this is 5th inning of work. But he has been lights out since he's come in, shutting down the Stockaders. What a day here in Clyde, as both of these games, if this one stays the way it is, 7-3 ball games. Did she just jinx us? She says, looking good for not 10 innings. I don't know. We'll see. Casey Klaus up to bat for the Stockaders. That one fouled off.
Well, I know. Mom, it could be mom. Yeah. So I do. Well, then he needs to get a pink bat. Pink underwear.
The 0-2 from Maxwell. Klaus fouls that one off. Fouled at the plate once again. The 0-2. That one hit into right field, but playable. Right fielder camps underneath of it and makes the first out. That'll bring up Carter Dubois.
Carter Dubois. That's a heck of a way to lose, get out of the season. It's like Clyde getting clean 11-0.
Dubois hits this one into left field. Left fielder backtracking and squeezes it for the 2nd out. So Stockaders down to their final out here in the district semifinals. First sectional title in over 20 years. But could all come to an end here if they're not able to get some magic going here. Nice pitch by Maxwell as he drops that one in there for a strike. A little bit high on that one. Maxwell misses. 1-1.
Yes, that's right.
That one high and inside. 2-1. Miles Miller standing in there for the Stockaders. And watches that one fall in there for a strike to even the count. 2-2. Stockaders down to their final strike here. The 2-2. Swing and a miss. Miller strikes out to end the ball game. And the Flyers will move on to the district final to be played this Friday here at Clyde Flyer Field as they will take on the Tiffin Calvert Senecas. Once again, your final score 7-3. Norwalk St. Paul over Old Fort. We're going to step aside. We'll take a timeout. We'll come right back and we'll wrap things up from Flyer Field. Once again, your final score 7-3 Norwalk. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this. You're watching Heart of Ohio Sports. All right, and we're back here at Flyer Field. Nate Mullins and now Greg Kinn joining me live here. Let's shoot your camera over here. Let me go. There we go. There we go. All right, so joining you live from Clyde Flyer Field. Once again, final score, Norwalk St. Paul 7, Old Fort 3. Stockader season comes to a close here at Clyde Flyer Field after their first sectional championship in over 20 years. So nothing to be ashamed of if you're the Stockaders today. You ain't got nothing to hang your hat about.
Oh, yeah, this was their game all the way up to the end of the sixth day.
This was the best season that's been put together by a Stockaders team in over 20 years. So hats off to these Old Fort students and student athletes, coaches, the staff, an outstanding season. Really, you put it together at the end of the year, and you got a lot of momentum going into next year. They got a lot of talent coming back next year. So I really feel like this is just a building block, and they're going to build upon this next year. And you're going to see a really solid squad coming back next year for these Stockaders. Sky's the limit for this team, man. Isaac Snyder, you saw the talent on display. A little bit of a rough ending to the game for him, but, I mean, you get up over 100 pitches, and it's hard to get. I mean, where are you going to get that gas from, you know?
Right, and they were doing a really good job with the bunts there in the sixth.
Oh,
Just put that ball in play where everybody had to chase after it. It's just a timing thing.
They figured it out because what's happening is, as a sidewinder, as that submarine motion, he's coming off the mound, and his motion takes him into a off position. So he then has to collect himself to come off and come down and get those bunts. Those hitters for Norwalk St. Paul, they did an outstanding job of executing their bunts at the plate.
Oh, they really did. Those balls just barely traveled out and made the pitcher come do all the work to run to it.
I have not seen that many bunts in a game since we've been covering high school baseball. That was definitely the most bunts that we've ever seen. Small ball is still alive, folks.
Like you said, they figured it out. They figured out what was going to get them some runs.
That's right. So they did what they had to do. They scratched across those runs in the sixth, and then they took care of business in the seventh inning to close it out and get the win. Now, we need to talk about the player of the game. MST Sauce Company brings you the player of the game. I'm talking about this because there's a number of different players on both teams that stood out to me. If Isaac Snyder had gone the distance and completed this game and got the win, there's no doubt who would have got the player of the game in my mind.
Right.
But I'm telling you, the way Caden Maxwell came into this game in the second inning, being down 3-2, after Norwalk came out, scored 2 runs in the top of the first, or at the bottom of the first.
It looked like they were going to take off there for a second right at the beginning of this one.
Exactly. You thought this was their game to take away with, or to run away with, and then, Old Fort comes out, they scratch across a run, then they get 2 more runs, and they're leading 3-2 in the second inning. Then they bring in Caden Maxwell. They call the pitching change, and the coach says, I need my guy to come in and shut this down. And what did Maxwell do?
Shut it down.
He shut it down.
Absolutely.
He kept them in the game. He kept it a 3-2 ball game for the length of for the whole time he was in there.
I mean, like you said, he kept them in the game.
Yes.
That's the statement right there.
And that's, to me, that's player of the game material. So I don't know about you, Greggy. Who'd you have?
No, I'm going to have to agree with you on that one because he came in and he was flawless. Like you said, he kept his team in the game all the way to the end. And then they just found a way to get over that hump.
Yeah, absolutely. So once again, big-time performance from Caden Maxwell coming in and finishing out the game and picking up the W for the Norwalk St. Paul Flyers. I mean, came in, they were trailing 3-2, able to keep them in the game, and then the offense did the work for him in the sixth inning, and he came out and took care of business in the seventh for the win.
That was a little heartbreaking there in the seventh inning. Though. And some really good hit balls just landing perfectly in the outfielders.
I know. That's baseball.
Yep,
that is baseball right there in a nutshell. All right, once again, First National Bank of Sycamore post-game show. Greggy, we've been here for 2 games. It's been almost 7 hours here.
That first one felt like 2 games.
I don't know if there's much more we need to say. We'll be back here on Friday for Tiffin Calvert versus Norwalk St. Paul for the district final. Once again, right here at Clyde Flyer Field. We're on the call once again on Thursday for Tiffin Columbian versus Ontario. And don't forget, tune in every morning at 8:30 a.m., Monday through Friday, for Mulling It Over. Now, this week will be a little different. It's not going to be exactly at 8:30 because we're recording the episodes, and then we are broadcasting the episodes because we don't have internet at the studio.
Ooh, when we get that good internet, though, man.
Watch out. I'm telling you. It's just the beginning. You're just seeing the tip of the iceberg right now with Heart of Ohio Sports. But we're growing. We're not stopping. We're just getting started, folks. Let me tell you. So once again, thanks to Greg. I cannot thank you enough. Coming through in the clutch today,
yeah.
homie. Once again, this is our, I'm telling you, like, I make a lot of things work, but I couldn't do it without this guy. So I got to give him a lot of credit. Any chance I get, I'm going to turn the credit over to this guy. So
We make a good team, man.
that's right. We do. Absolutely. Once again, your final score, 7-3, Norwalk St. Paul. Moving on to the district final to face Tiffin Calvert this Friday night right here at Clyde Flyer Field. We'll be on the call for that. Don't go anywhere. I mean, folks, we've got some more exciting playoff action tomorrow. No, not tomorrow. What am I thinking?
Thursday.
Tomorrow's Wednesday. They rained out those games in a head. I mean, it didn't get rained out, but they were like, yeah, let's move these games. So we have Thursday playoff game coming up. Tiffin Columbian versus Ontario. Friday, Tiffin Calvert versus Norwalk St. Paul. And once again, mulling it over every day this week in the morning. Tune in right here on Heart of Ohio Sports. For Greg Kinn, I'm Nate Mullins signing off from Flyer Field. Once again, thanks for tuning in. 7-3 was your final. Old Fort, great season, guys. Nothing to be ashamed of. Norwalk St. Paul, great game. We'll see you on Friday. Thanks again, guys. Have a great night.